Now my recent videos have been about assessing our calisthenics skills. We've done the planche, we've done the handstand push-ups, and today is going to be about the press handstand. Now with the press handstand, we're first going to have a look at what's the variation, the progression, or the level of press handstand we already have comfortably. So I'm demonstrating straddle press handstands. Now I can do about 10, 12 of these per set. So you could say that I have that level down quite comfortably, and I can straddle press cold 100% of the time. Now, if you don't have the straddle press, let's now have a look at some of the easier progressions when you're working towards it and see what level you're at where you can get around 5 repetitions. And if you have the straddle press easy, you could look at doing something like pike presses, which would be seen as a harder movement, or something like a Stalder press, which I struggle to do cold like that. So what are some of the easier progressions we can do for around 5 repetitions? So you could do straddle jumps. Now we can use the wall, or we could do this freestanding. So I'm gonna have hands on the floor, shoulders on top of the hands, feet nice and light, and then I'm gonna bend the knees, jump, pass through straddle, come back down again, pause, go again. So that's 2 repetitions. If I needed to, at the top, I could be touching the wall. But remember, we're looking to get consistent 5 repetitions to show we've mastered or we're comfortable with that level. If the jumps are too hard, we could look at floor presses. So mimicking the pathway of the press. So hands on the wall, passing through straddle, aiming to get tiptoes to touch the wall, come back down. 5 repetitions, the same. Trying to get the pathway to look as much as the real thing as possible. So keeping the feet as close as we can to the floor and not bringing the hip too high like that. Well, another option for the 5 reps would be partial range. Now obviously this is way more accessible for more people because we can change the height according to their level. So we could have boxes up this height, or we could be closer to the floor like these yoga blocks. Just make sure the distance is right, toes light on the box, lifting up to your handstand, come back down, try and kiss the blocks again, and then go again. So making sure you can get those 5 repetitions at the particular height. And like I say, you could be up onto like plyo box height to get your 5. Then once we've assessed the 5 repetitions, we can look at the eccentric. Now the eccentric is really powerful because that's going to show us how controlled we are through the full pathway. So your straddle press could be kicking up to handstand. Now this one we really want to time. We want to see how long we can go for, as long as the tempo is the same. So if I time going down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that was around 20 seconds. I probably counted a little bit quick there for demonstration, but coming down for 20 to 30 seconds shows I have full control for the full pathway of the eccentric. What we don't want to happen with this one, we could even call it 20 to 30 seconds, but you could have 10, 15 seconds to hair and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that last bit. That doesn't mean we've got full control. It means we've got full control on that first half, but the second half was way too fast. So we want to find a progression where we can show control for that full 20 to 30 seconds. So if we are using the wall, I'm going to kick up to the wall. I'm going to take my back to the wall, and then I'm going to slowly come down, peel off. So butt, low back, mid back, upper back. Watch the control at the bottom until I lightly kiss the toes. Same thing, 15, 20, 30 seconds, same tempo all the way down. That shows control on that eccentric. So we have the options against the wall. We have the freestanding one that I showed first. We could do pike press, we could do tuck press, we could do Stalder. So another way to do Stalder press, so you saw how my feet dragged the floor, made it really hard to get through. We could do the same thing, but raise the hands up for the eccentric, or the concentric for that matter, and make things easier from a range of motion point of view, as long as I can balance on here. And then I'm going to come down through that real slow eccentric, but now the eccentric doesn't stop at the floor with the toes, it carries on until I come through to my straddle L sit. Show control at the bottom and then come back down. We could do the chest to wall version. So this one has a lot of benefits, but one big negative, which is the bottom section doesn't give you any support. So I come here, it gives me lots of support. I can go down really slow, but most people will drop this bit now till their toes come down to the floor. So I think that one is much harder than the back to wall version, and not a complete exercise if you do drop on that bottom section. But again, it's good to assess that. And then the other two big pieces of the press handstand that we need to assess, we need to know what control you have at the top and the bottom of the press. Now the bottom's really, really important, and obviously the top is a freestanding handstand. So we need to see what control, consistency you have of being able to kick up and hold in or jump in to this top position, and how stable it is there. Can you move around in that position? Do you have lots of room for error, where if you come up on your press training and struggle on that last section, it's not because of balance, because you've got lots of room for error. So that's something it's worth assessing. What's your hold times there? How many times can you kick up in a row and catch? How many times can you jump up into that catch handstand position, show control without falling? And then probably the most important thing for that lift off is checking where we can get the hip crease relevant to the heel of the palm. So I'm going to use this cup as a marker. So if I go into this position and I try and get as close to the bottom of the press as I can. Now if I get to there, I need to draw a line down from my hip crease down there, and I can put a marker there. So if I'm there, that's where I am at the moment. Now when I'm there, I actually can't lift off. So I need to work on that and develop that condition of that position. Whether it's mobility, compression, or a combination of all those things, it could be strength and conditioning in that position that's going to allow me to squish in more and bring the hip crease closer to the heel of the palm. So watch what happens when I do increase that distance and get closer and closer to that point. Now the toes are light because this hip crease has moved to here. So video of yourself on the side, or get someone else to help you draw a line down from that hip crease, put the marker down, and that will give you an idea where you are at that lift-off position and how much work there is to be done to try and get the hip on top of that palm. So these things are all going to help to put together the correct program or the correct focus for your handstand drills, working towards that press. So for me personally, I need to get better at the Stalder press, being able to come off the floor cold. I need to stop dragging the toes on the floor, and it'd be nice to get up to 4 to 5 repetitions quite comfortably there. Let me know down in the comments where you are on your press handstand journey. Let me know if you have any questions around it. If you're interested in coaching or my app, link is down in the description, or visit my website www.paultwyman.com.au, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Thanks guys.